At first, the low-carb phenomenon hurt the bread industry. A lot of people were shying away from bread because they were told that too many carbs are going to hurt them in their quest to lose weight. I think ultimately people realize that you can't enjoy a sandwich without bread. So bakeries, responsible bakeries, said to themselves, what can we do for the person looking to reduce carbohydrate and still enjoy a sandwich? Take a company like ourselves who makes pitas, wraps, lavash wraps, panini flatbreads. These are good items for low-carb crazed eaters because, first of all, there's not much weight to it. If you're going to reduce the carbs, you're going to reduce the carbs a couple of ways. You're going to do it by formulation, and you're going to do it by weight. A flatbread itself is already low in weight, so we already had a heads up. Secondly, unlike some other breads that are doughy and don't chew well with reduced carb formulation, a wrap was pretty much ideal.
You know, you just mentioned lavash bread. I really don't know what that is. What is it?
This is, if we go back in time, if we open the Bible, you know, perhaps, and read what Adam and Eve used to eat, it very possibly was this bread. Why lavash? Because it's probably the most simplest bread to make. Water, yeast, flour, a little bit of fermentation. You would traditionally bake it on a stone kind of oven. And it's a Middle Eastern bread. It's a staple in the Middle East. A few years back, leave it to the American restaurateur to say, how can we take a bread and make a wrap sandwich? They took a tortilla, perhaps first, or maybe a lavash. They rolled it up and they said, this is a neat thing. This is different from a sandwich on American bread. It's different from a sandwich on a Kaiser roll. It's different from a bagel sandwich. And so the wrap craze kind of hit America. What lavash did is separate itself from a tortilla. It went to a store and said, now you can do similar to what the bagel did. You have a regular bagel, then you had a boiled bagel. Makes the same sandwich, choose completely different. More crust, more breadiness, more upscale look, much more appeal.
And you make a low-carb version of that?
This year, like every responsible bakery, we made a low-carb version of this. We introduced it in whole wheat, which we felt would be a big selling item. We also took a stab at some other varieties. We did not want to position ourselves like other bakeries, which said, here is my low-carb product, take it or leave it. We didn't know what size, what varieties people would want, so we said, let's just do it all. See what bites. You might want one, the next company might make another. We introduced a variety called flax. A lot of people don't know what flax is. Those that do know that it's actually healthy for you. Know that your nutritionist probably wants you to supplement it even if you don't have any kind of weight or health concerns. Came out with a red pepper and onion. Who said low-carb breads can't be gourmet? Who said they can't have spice to it? Why do they just have to be plain or whole wheat? Came out with a rye. We came out with a 12-inch, came out with a 10-inch, came out with a rectangle, 7.5 by 9-inch.
Now, is that for a wrap?
Well, this is a roll-up. You wouldn't wrap it, and you might ask, well, why are we making a rectangle for a wrap? Well, it's not for a wrap. We felt that if you're trying to lose weight, if your concern is to reduce carbs, we've done this with formulation, but we felt that if you took a wrap, and I'm going to open up the pack and show you, if you took a wrap, smells great, and you filled it, and you wrapped it up, okay, it's a great sandwich. It's only one thing. 1/3 of your bread really serves no function. It's excess bread. It's kind of like wrapping paper on a Christmas gift. With this size, with this rectangle, you could put as much filling on this as you could in this, but with less bread. Less bread means less carbs, and it means less cost.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I understand that this bakery was the very first to market and produce pita bread here in the U.S. Is that right?
Historically, my grandfather was the first. He was the pioneer. My grandfather had a son who was going to take over part of the business. My father bought in the other half of the business. And within 2-3 years, my father said, this bread is too good to keep to the Middle Eastern section of Brooklyn. We need to get this throughout America. Now, some people applauded him. Some thought that my mother should call the psychiatrist. My father said, give me 3 years and let me show you, and he did.
What other major products do you produce today?
Our newest product is called the panini flatbread. We've seen where paninis are becoming a big item, or they are already a big sandwich item in America. It's come from Italy. It sounds different. Americans are always looking for the next new sandwich. And so we went to a lot of places and talked about their panini sandwich, and we asked what they liked about it, what they didn't like about it. And what we found out is a lot of panini sandwiches are made on a bread called ciabatta bread. We found that the ciabatta bread, albeit a good tasting bread, didn't allow the grill to melt the cheese, warm up the meats, unless it kind of scorched the bread. What these stores are looking for is something that is flatter so that you can layer it with cheese, meats, cheese again, fold it over, grill it, create a nice crust, but yet conduct enough heat to melt the center cheese and warm up the meats. So we created a square because it made a lot more sense than some of the other shapes, and we formulated it so that it has a doughy inside, but yet a crust that when grilled will really crisp up and give you that nice bite that you want when you eat a panini sandwich. And we've had good response.
Who are some of the customers that you sell these products to?
In New York, everyone's our customer. The retail stores, the restaurants, the guy on the corner, you know, the little kid at school. But in the past years, we've evolved than more than a New York bakery. Chick-fil-A has been a big customer of ours. A few years back, they wanted to come out with a wrap program. They didn't want what everyone else had. They sought us out. They might have been afraid we were too small for them at the time, but they supported us. And we rolled out a wrap program with them, and very possibly as good a wrap sandwich as you'll find in this country. Beyond that, we sell to the military, to the schools. We sell to Cisco, who nationally distributes it. We sell to Flowers Bakery. They just launched our breads into a lot of programs and a lot of restaurants, including a up-and-coming restaurant chain called McAllister's Deli. D'Angelo's a couple years ago said, hey, we have a wrap sandwich, but we want a sandwich that has low fat, therefore we need a bread that is very minimized in fat. We said, we'll give you bread that has no fat. So they became a customer. We just started a program with Einstein Bagels. They took a bread similar to this. They said, we like this panini bread. We're looking for a bread that we can season and toast. So we need something that could absorb the flavoring, but yet when toasted, kind of crunch up. Went back to the drawing board, reformulated. We made them a bread that they like. And hey, you know, you don't have to be an Einstein to figure out how to make this kind of bread, but really not any baker could do it. We did it because we put our heads together, we saw what they wanted, and we formulated a bread that worked for them.
You really have a lot of customers, don't you?
We got a lot of customers, but not enough.
And you are looking for more, obviously.
There's always room for more. We're looking to move. We have some designs on new equipment. We learned a lot about this bread industry in the last 74 years, and particularly the last 2. And we know that there's always room out there for a baker's baker, and that's what we are.
The lowdown on the latest in the world of bread from the principals of one of the oldest family-owned bakeries in New York that is helping to set the standards in the bakery industry today. I'm Doug Llewellyn reporting from Brooklyn.
Thank you for joining us on this special edition of Close Up on America's Business.